Hey guys, Andy here. So I have what will hopefully be at least a slightly interesting comparison today. On the left is my outgoing Pixel 5 with the Snapdragon 765G chipset with an octa-core processor, Adreno 620 GPU, 8GB of RAM with the 2.1 UFS file system. Then over on the right hand side we've got my new Pixel 6 with its Google Tensor chipset, which is actually a 5nm chipset, an octa-core CPU, a Mali G78 MP20 GPU, 8GB of RAM and 3.1 UFS file system. So let's see how they compare. So let's kick things off with a fingerprint sensor test, and I can tell you right away the Pixel 5 is going to win this because the Pixel 6 in-screen fingerprint sensor is terrible. Some people get on fine with it. I feel like I have fingers or thumbs that just don't work well on in-screen fingerprint sensors. Either way, Pixel 5 out to an early lead, winning the fingerprint sensor. We'll move on to the Angry Birds opening test. And the Pixel 6 looks to be leading the way. And opening the actual game first is the Pixel 6. A little bit of a jitter on the 5 even when it sort of zoomed that 2 in then. Not a huge amount between the two. I cleared down the memory before doing this. We'll just do a second run to confirm the 6 was faster. Although it wasn't by a huge amount. It's not like the 5. I mean, it's less than a second, I think. Which is pretty impressive by the 5, really, to be fair, when it's much less power than the 6. On to Geekbench 5. This is testing purely the sort of CPU power. Obviously, I'm not going to make you watch the whole thing. The 6 did run through it quite a lot quicker than the 5, and you can see there a relatively easy win for the Pixel 6. There are comments, it doesn't score as well on a CPU test as it does on a GPU test. On a GPU test, apparently it outperforms a lot of the 888 chipsets, whereas the CPU not as strong. But there we go, Pixel 6 is the winner of the benchmark test. I'm going to head outside for a GPS test, so I let them both lock on. Then I try as best I can to clear them both at the same time. Then I try and close down all apps, and then I try and open them up at the same time. And it's very close, but the Pixel 5 did actually get the lock a bit quicker and is a lot more accurate. If you look, that big sort of light blue number 4 and 8, that is how accurate it is down to, I forget if it's feet or meters at this point, but the Pixel 5 is a lot more accurate. So we're going to head back inside and listen to the speakers. Let's also try spoken voice, so I'll switch over to podcast clip.
Essentially gave organizations like GCHQ and the NSA a free rein to go do mass surveillance. It also overturned a lot of the rules and laws. Essentially gave organizations like GCHQ and the NSA a free rein to go do mass surveillance. It also overturned a lot of the rules and laws. And now we're in the situation where people are clamoring for the Googles and the Facebooks and the Twitters. Now we're in the situation where people are clamoring for the Googles and the Facebooks and the Twitters to
social network providers and search engine providers are being overwhelmed, quite frankly, with inquiries. Social network providers and search engine providers are being overwhelmed, quite frankly, with inquiries.
It's quite interesting. The Pixel 5 seems to be a couple of decibels louder, according to the sound meter, but the 6 just sounds a lot better. It sounds like a more rounded sound, so the speaker test goes to the Pixel 6. We're now going to test screen brightness. So I've turned off adaptive brightness. I've cranked the brightness to the full. I've got my light meter measuring in lumens. And the Pixel 5 peaks at about 621 for a brief moment there near the top. I think 621 is going to be the highest. The Pixel 6, 742. Yep. So it looks like the screen brightness test is going to go to the Pixel 6 with actually 743 lumens right at the end there. So the last test I'm going to run at this point is the Chrome browser test, where I'm clearing the browsing data. Lots to clear on the Pixel 5 because that was my main device for a year. Then we're going to Argos first of all, and it was very close. Maybe the Pixel 5 snuck through, maybe. I don't know. They're both very smooth in scrolling, I think. For some reason the Pixel 5 reload now. I don't know if I pressed something by mistake or what, but we're going to move on to the BBC website. I mean, that's... I don't think I can pick a winner between the two. Interestingly, the Pixel 6 had the little pop-up about whatever it is, cookies or whatever, first. Then we're going to... I mean, that's identical, isn't it? Personally, I think we have to go with a tie for the browser test. There wasn't really any difference. They're both obviously on the same Wi-Fi network, so I guess the processing element is much smaller. I'm going to throw in, although you're not going to see it, I'm going to throw in the results of my battery tests on the two devices. After an hour-long test, playing video and then reloading web pages, the Pixel 5 had 95% left from full, but the Pixel 6 had the third best score I've ever had. I gave it 96.5 because it literally ticked to 96 kind of the last minute of the test. So the Pixel 6 will also get awarded the battery. So hopefully, if I've done my maths right, the Pixel 6 has won that 5-2. It's interesting, they were both the same price on launch. Obviously the 5, I don't think the 5 is even available now. But they have got a much better phone made for the money in the Pixel 6. Yeah, I mean, I guess we were expecting it to win all the actual performance-based things. But at the same time, again, it's the same cost that the Pixel 5 was a year ago. And they just eked that much more performance out of it. So there we go. Hopefully that's been interesting and useful to you. Please do let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But for now, my name's Andy, and I'll catch you all again soon.